I nearly didn't ride my bike into central London this week. Not because I was worried about the ride there, more about where I was going to keep the bike when I got there. I was at a 2 day course where I would need to leave the bike um, either in a car park or on the street alone, which I never done. I don't know, I didn't know the area that I was going to be leaving it in or the area I was going to be in. Even though I did a lot of research online, I didn't really know what the parking area or the situation was going to be like until I got there. And as I said, I've never left the bike alone for hours outside of where I usually keep it. The fears come from, for me, is from for online, right? Everyone talks about how, if it makes it sound like if you leave your bike for 5 minutes in London, it's going to get nicked. It's going to be chucked in the back of a van, or some youths are going to pull up on you on a moped with a machete. And I wasn't concerned about being pulled up on, but more about the bike being taken when I'm not there. It's hard to know if the internet is talking about the reality or just merely exaggerating it. And I suppose you hear all the bad stories, and if you go and park your bike in central London, you're not going to go and you get your bike and it's still there. You're not going to post on the internet about it, right? So you hear the bad stories, you don't necessarily hear the neutral or good stories, right? Bottom line is, I didn't really want to risk it without knowing what I was walking into, or what I was going to be parking into, I guess. What actually happened was I caught the train in, and then I walked from King's Cross to where I was doing the course, and I was pleasantly surprised by some motorcycle bays right outside where we was doing the course. So when I pulled up, a lot of the guys who also ride was quite excited to see that. So we all agreed that we'd ride tomorrow, park our bikes next to each other, and we'd all, periodically check on them, I guess, throughout the day, just naturally, right? Which means you've got other people keeping an eye on your bike. And that really made everyone, I think, feel a bit more comfortable with the risk factor of it. So the day of the ride, I woke up. I was going to use my LS2 Strobe 2 helmet. It's a facelifter, and as I realised, it doesn't have a pin lock. And then I went to put on my Shoei GTR 3. I realised I forgot to put the fucking padding back in it, so I was rushing to put that back in. Got on the bike, went and got some fuel, headed on down. Beautiful ride down. Bit cold to start with, but it warmed up. It's heated seat, and grips did their thing. Got down, enjoyed the ride through central London, got there on time, parked up, locked the bike up, and the boys were already there. Got to the room, forgot to pay my parking. The boys reminded me, so then I paid my parking, which was cool. And you could see the bikes from the window of the room that was doing, so it was really comfortable. If I felt a little bit or what was going on, I could just literally walk and have a quick look at the window and know it was safe, which was cool. There's a couple of parking attendants that came around. I actually went and had a chat with one of them because I wanted to understand what they were doing, made sure that my bike had been paid for, and make sure I got to check it, stuff like that. It was cool. During lunchtime, there was one of the boys pointed out there's an Infinity motorcycle shop down the road, about 10-minute walk, so I decided to have a bit of a walk there. Had a little walk around. It wasn't very big, but it was nice to have a little look at some helmets and whatnot on lunch, and then head back to there. And then I had a little drink sat on the bike, rather than sitting in the park just behind it, 'cause it's much more comfortable than a bench, to be frank. So as the day was wrapping up, and there was no issues whatsoever with the bike. The bike survived. Me and the couple of the guys, we decided to head on over to the bike shed. For dinner. So once the course was kind of wrapped up and we'd taken our end of course pictures and all that kind of stuff, we all jumped on our bikes and headed on over to the bike shed. So it was my first time going to the bike shed and cutting through the city traffic while it was rush hour and pulling up to the bike shed. It was cool. It was really nice just to get to spend some time with the boys, have something to eat before heading off home. I tried their Cajun chicken burger with sweet potato fries, and it came with this like sauce, which is really nice food. And then I had a Coke Zero. Once we finished up eating, we didn't hang around. We had a quick look around the shop, and then we went our separate ways and headed home. The day was without any kind of hiccup, and I'm so glad I ended up riding in. In reflection, does the internet make it sound worse than it is? Me not knowing what the parking situation was. I wasn't really bothered about riding into London, but I was bothered about not knowing where I was going to leave my bike in London, and also not knowing the area I was in. Would you guys leave your bike in London all day, parked on the side of the road? What is it? What kind of concerns would you need to be met for you to be comfortable to leave your bike all day? Anyway, I'll see you on the next one.